Welcome to a Delco Nerd Network Hot Take. Guys, if you haven't seen a hot take before, well, it's where a few friends get in a basement, give our thoughts, give our opinions on a TV show, a movie, or a game. Today, it's going to be a TV show, and that TV show is Miss Marvel. My name is Anthony Ragucci, and here to discuss, as always, the triple threat, Chris Trio.
Gooch, I am beginning with excitement, and I had to slip it in. I just can't wait to talk about Miss Marvel. Thank you.
Because they
slipped
more
it
or
in.
less slipped it in. So the vibe is similar.
There we go. I like it. Gooch, Miss Marvel. I gotta say, this felt like a bit of a chore for me. I felt like
okay. So here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
I think it's a very interesting sort of hot take. So it's very generic.
Sure.
It's very generic in a very good way. This movie is good. Show, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This show is really good, but the Marvel of it is totally not what makes the show of any sort of quality. I think it's a good exploration of a Middle Eastern teenage coming of age story.
Sure.
But the Marvel of it is so irrelevant to what is going on.
Like the superpowers and such, you mean?
Her being a Marvel character, her being in a Marvel world is really like it's evident in the first episode. Really hits that home. But like after that, they're really getting into Kamala Khan's life and her family and being Muslim and stuff like that. I kind of enjoyed that.
No, it was cool. I agree.
But the Marvel of it is just so irrelevant.
It definitely
to that.
felt like the culture was taking
Right.
the center stage.
One thing had to give, and what gave was the Marvel of it.
Yeah,
and like yeah, it's cool. I enjoyed it. Would I've watched this without it being a Marvel show? Absolutely not. But I think it was a good representation of the culture.
Yeah,
I think it's really clear. Like the culture really took center stage, almost to a point where I would compare it to Miles Morales in the games.
Sure.
Like where his half black, half Latino background sort of just plays into that character.
Sure.
But
they
did it better.
I was gonna say I think it's a bit. Again, I don't want to say now. I don't know, like, because that's culture I don't know much about. Genuinely, like Kamala's culture and all this stuff. We're two white men. We're not Muslim.
We're not
as
Muslim.
you would assume. And it was really cool actually seeing that. Even getting to see like a Muslim wedding, I thought was very interesting.
Yeah,
I thought
and like the mosque and the community around that.
It was
obviously
very
something
cool.
we were really not going to know anything about.
I thought that was good, but it did feel like that was more of the point.
Right,
and that's not bad. No, that's
right.
like, listen,
not
that's
a bad
not like,
thing.
But like, it definitely doesn't feel. I totally agree with what you're saying.
And let's go back to it: the run times and the episode length. We needed more to get that stuff in. We did not have enough time to do that.
Sure, I guess I didn't even feel like. It felt like we didn't really have a villain.
No, there is. Oh, the clandestines. They're not villains, dude.
And even like the
we
department
don't have a villain.
The damage
and then
control.
we get it's Kamran with like just different colored powers.
That
Fuck
was
that
my
shit. Come on,
it was funny. I was like, guys,
real.
are we doing this again?
Yes, because it's a Marvel villain.
I mean, Jesus Christ, we're not.
I liked damage control as an entity. I always am all about the government agencies and Marvel shows for some reason. I didn't like how they were vilifying damage control because
no, they were very much taking like this like
damage control makes a lot of sense.
No, it's true, and I think they were trying to satire like the FBI's treatment of like Muslims and stuff, and like you know,
or
and
police. I don't know if that's true,
during like the 2000, like I get what they were trying to do, and I get that they were like trying to make this kind of analogy, but it just felt weird and out of place for damage control.
Yeah,
like,
you know
why
it doesn't work? Because Thanos snapped half of life away, and you know, the Marvel Universe knows there are threats in this world that we cannot contend with.
Well, and I also feel like there's
damage control being that aggressive makes a lot of sense.
Sure,
they're not going to let anything like that happen again. You know,
sure,
and that's their objective.
And they seem to be going any enhanced individual shows up. It's weird that damage control from me. I feel like that would be a separate department if we're gonna get into the nitty gritty here. Damage control would be the cleanup, but then I guess there would be a subsection of damage control that you're trying to stop this from happening.
There's the shield of it. Where's
no, it's
shield?
true.
You know what's going on with
bureaucracy kind of bullshit. And I get that there's kind of an analogy there. I don't know. Like I said, this did feel like a bit of a chore for me, but that's because I just don't think it's made for me, and that's fine, and that's okay. Like and. I can accept that. I definitely probably wouldn't have watched this if we didn't do this podcast.
Right. You've made that pretty clear a few times.
Again,
fine.
it's just it's not it's because it's a character that just doesn't necessarily interest me. But I gotta give what's her name a shit ton of credit. She was amazing to watch.
Iman Vellani?
I think that's it.
I think that's how you say
I
her
apologize
last name.
if we're butchering that, but
I think it's
she was
Vellani.
awesome.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, she was really fantastic, and I definitely think she was the linchpin. She felt like a character that would exist in that world.
I liked her friend group. Bruno is really good.
Yeah. Were they trying to set up like a love thing there, or was it like it felt very like wishy-washy?
I'm glad you brought it up. Because why? Marvel tries to be, have representation, include gay characters, but the woman in the show has 3 guys that she goes between. Why do we need that?
But it's like, I didn't even understand if they were like. It was
I don't
just
think
weird.
so. But like, if Bruno liked,
because that's what
Kamala,
it felt like. They were definitely implying that Bruno
makes sense. But now we got Kamran and then the Red Dagger dude. I'm like, does she have like how many men is she gonna have in the show?
And then
so unneeded.
But then Kamran kind of makes this weird like he's kind of introduced as this shy guy at first, but then he seems like kind of a dickhead because he forgets Bruno's name. But then he kind of comes back around
until, like,
and
the
is
last
like,
episode.
And then he's like, "Oh, your name's actually Bruno." I don't believe him.
My
He knew
name's
his name was
Bruno, and he's like, "Oh, dude," like it seemed like a like a interesting that they let it go that long.
Again, like, and I didn't quite believe that he didn't know that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I'm not sure. I felt like his character,
it was very weird.
Character kind of like changed a few times,
a lot throughout,
and it like didn't really stick to any of them.
No. So that was one thing. Again, I think the villain not really being present is the major issue here for me. I think if they wrote a more have you read her comics at all?
I sadly have not.
I know nothing about her.
Like some weird things only for her. I don't think she has much. Like she goes up against Thomas Edison's brain in like a bird or something.
It was great how much better that got because I was like, oh, she goes up against Thomas Edison. Oh, his bird. Oh, his brain in a bird. Okay,
yeah.
That was
like
really
but like I don't think any like I don't. It's kind
there's nothing there that could like that you could be like. Pull out very easily.
And she doesn't go up against like other heroes' villains, I don't think, like that often.
Yeah, again, just don't make it a person with the same powers.
We gotta get away from that.
I feel like they have been for the most part. Like I'm trying to think of the last movies.
We're
like
in deep with most characters at this point.
Yeah, we haven't really got many like new, like even like I guess it's Captain Falcon, Captain Falcon. Captain
America.
No, it's the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Jesus
okay.
Christ!
I was like, what are you saying?
That is a bit more, but again, they're all just kind of punching each other. Yeah, I don't know.
It's a weird quandary we're in where we're just like, yeah, we need to get away from just the like. I think the only place it works is Reverse Flash, where Reverse Flash is just so
well.
Evil
That's literally and his
so,
whole idea is to be the opposite of him,
right?
Like,
it
be
works.
Yes, it does.
But like
because that's the point of his character,
right?
Yeah.
Everywhere else it just doesn't work.
It just feels like it's just not. Yeah, it's not set up well at all.
Yeah, I didn't like how they gave Kamala like these like pseudo love interests. Like it's so unnecessary.
It's just
she's a fucking like teenager.
I would just say
like I get it, but like she can have one
or just
why 3?
That's what I'm saying. Commit or don't.
Right.
That's what I mean. Shit or get off the pot, as they say.
A lot of women get really upset when they're put in like especially in movies when it's like they're getting saved by the guy or they have to have a guy in a relationship and like that's kind of the thing. It's like this is where like that couldn't have happened or like maybe it was just like we're friends, but I actually like you with Bruno, which would make sense.
And again, it seemed like because when he got in that car with him, and like I meant to send a Snapchat, but I deleted it by accident. I was like, I feel you, Bruno. But he was like the way he was great. Right, that actor was great. He was staring at him like,
who
fuck
he is.
You.
His name is Matthew Lintz.
Interesting.
He was in The Walking Dead. He's the brother of the girl who played Sophia in The Walking Dead.
Interesting.
As well.
He kind of looks like the new face they got for Spider-Man in the PS4 game.
No,
I'm telling you, man.
I think he's a little younger than that.
I don't think it is the same person, but like
no.
he looks very similar.
Yeah, he's so I knew who he was, so it was kind of cool.
No, and I thought he was really good actually. I liked his character a lot.
Yeah, I
he kind of got thrown away for 2 episodes and then kind of came back at the end.
Like the whole show kind of got thrown away for 2
episodes.
Yeah,
and then that's like.
Which was like,
did you understand the whole dimension thing?
No, because there's two. this is, I think, where issue we're now officially running into, where it's like, we were talking in the Discord where you can join below using our link, but be sure to subscribe, follow,
all that
like,
good stuff.
Whatever you're doing, where you're doing it, make sure you're rating, reviewing, following up with.
Absolutely, please do.
We were talking about like, okay, so like the clandestines are from another dimension, and I kind of paralleled it to like the quantum realm. They're from a dimension in our own. They're
but
not
it's
from
within our
universe.
Our multiverse, right?
See, I took it as like they're.
Again, they need to explain this a little better because
Right.
I genuinely don't.
And they were talking about what's the term when a multiverse takes over another.
Yeah, the convergence in Doctor Strange. You're talking about. Yeah, I think it's a
because
convergence.
that is what the Red Dagger leader guy
It's
explains
talking
what's
about-
happening,
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like, okay, that's a big deal.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Yeah,
That's a big
We should be
deal
paying
from what
attention to
we
that, yeah.
understand in the
About
universe.
this, yeah.
yeah, but it doesn't really seem to
and it,
go anywhere.
Yeah, and then even
they're,
like
and their jinn, which are a mythological creature. I think from
Muslim faith. I think.
yeah, and they're I've heard of them
Islamic,
before.
yeah.
Jinn. It's like DJNN. That's
It's
how you
in.
spell jinn.
They're in.
Witcher.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
they're definitely a
that's,
thing.
That's how what's his name and
like
Siri
genies.
meet, right? Yeah, or not Siri. Him and what's her name?
Yennefer.
Why? Yeah, they meet.
Yeah, they're like essentially from what I understood, they are like genies.
A genie. Yeah.
That is their kind of idea, and like I was okay with them exploring that, but like those characters were just so boring.
Well, and it just felt confusing, and so they're just humans, but from another with powers from another dimension.
I think they're taking the form of humans. Is what I understood.
See, I didn't get that at all. I felt like they looked like that because then how would they have? I don't know. I guess I don't need to get into how they would have kids, but yeah, I don't know. It was confusing to me. I didn't really quite understand that whole. And then she kind of just gave up and then did it to give Kamran powers.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But why did that give him powers? Just saying his name?
No, I think
Was it
her,
'cause she's,
her
like,
essence,
connecting to-
transfers to him. They're also related.
No, I know. He's her mother, right? Or she's his mother. Yeah. She is his mother.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
We got
so
that,
maybe that had something, a different dynamic, that like maybe the power would get passed on to next of kin. Who fucking knows?
So are they all just mutants? Yeah, we're going there.
We're there?
Yeah,
Spoilers.
because truthfully,
Trill
they barely.
Gooch.
I did pull a spoiler. So I mean, but even the way they reveal it in the show, it's
Wait.
like
we gotta back up. We gotta back up.
Sorry,
So
we're on the
so
gin,
in the
I'm
first
like-
episode, I'm like, okay, and we figure out the bangle. The bangle is what gives her powers, and
or what
would-
unlocks her powers.
right.
'Cause they're
Bruno
within
kind of
them, yeah.
explains that. It's like, hey, like there's something with your like the power's in you, and the bangle activated
Unlocks that,
it.
yeah.
And that's what we're given in the beginning, and sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I was kind of upset because I think Miss Marvel is best when the coming of age is also involved with the becoming of her of an Inhuman, like coming of age, and then she also goes through a transformation which makes her a superhero. And I think in the comics that really works. From the Terrigen Mists, she has I forget exactly what happens.
So in humans, the genes existed within people on Earth.
because of what the Kree coming to Earth during the prehistoric times and doing experiments on humans,
And
like
then
a lot
the
of people
Terrigen Mist gets exposed on Earth
activates
and
it.
activates everyone.
activates
I
the
do
Kree
think
genes within people. Not everyone has it, but a lot of people do. It
So
seems.
no, that's
And you have to get
that
exposed to
and
the
that does
Terrigen
create a
Mist.
different dichotomy compared to like the mutants who are you grow up with your powers.
Right. We'll
Yeah.
get to it. So
Sorry.
I was really upset that like she's coming to age as a teenager, but she's not really coming to age as a superhero, where she's going through like a puberty version of
Yeah, she
becoming
can't
a
control. Yeah, exactly.
Right,
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
It's different, and I'm kind of missing that, because I think that would be really cool.
You're missing a trick there. Yeah, they're missing a trick.
Like
for
especially
sure.
with her powers and the way to display them. Like I think I like ultimately I'm like I like her and biggin thing and how her hands get big. It's goofy. It's got a lot of flair to who Kamala Khan is. I don't think the
crystally light, hard
aura
light
goes with it as well.
I think it looks very cool. I think it looks much cooler than her like kind of getting all big and shrinky. But I do think you're missing a trick there.
And then they kind of inject her ethnicity and her religion into her genetics, and we find out her grandmother Aisha
Is a jinn.
Aisha
Yeah, Aisha.
is a jinn, a clandestine from this other universe, and that's how she gets her powers. And I'm like, because I think it kind of just like belittles the point of like why they wrote the character that way. In my opinion,
but that it undercuts it. I agree. You're 100% right. In my opinion,
and I'm cool with the ethnicity stuff of it, but the fact that it's just like,
well, it's not
you're
even
an alien.
Well, it's not even her. It's her species. It's not even her ethnicity.
True.
It's
really has
her.
Nothing to do with
it's her. She is part human, part jinn. Which, again, that's the thing that confuses me when they now bring up the mutation. It's like, but and that's obviously implying X-Men because you hear it. Like it's for sure that.
Yeah, and
but then it's like, so does that exist apart from them? I'm sorry.
So I'm like building there.
No,
I
apologize. Yeah.
And I like how they kind of like tie the what is it, not the apartheid.
Oh, the
partition.
The partition.
Yeah, in India in the 1940s.
That is, of course, a real event. Right?
Yeah, and I like the integration of history there. Pretty cool to go into the background between Muslims and Palestinians kind of splitting up and what happened to them after that, and like World War II kind of affecting all that.
I did really like the scene of her saving her grandma too, though. I did like that setup and stuff. That was cool and fun.
All that stuff is really good. Again, it's the Marvel of it. Like, what? Why is this a Marvel show? Like, it doesn't like fit in too well. So we go through the whole plot and we get to the Bruno, like literally it's our end credit scene, right?
Yeah.
Or is it the before the credits?
I think so. I can't remember. I think it's before the credits. Yeah, because it's kind of everything's wrapping up.
It's like literally like the last scene of the movie, and where Bruno goes like, hey, like I was looking at like essentially the reports again, and it's like, yeah, like okay, like I was right, but like there's something else, like it's in your genetic. There's a mutation, and I was like,
and then she kind of goes, and then she says a line which I just felt really weird, and she was like, "It's just another label they'll hit me with." I'm like,
yeah, I was like, ugh.
That
makes sense for a mutant.
No,
to
it
say
does,
that.
but it's like you have no context.
And then
for
I was
that,
like, here's the thing. I don't like this. Here's why. I feel like when you're a mutant in the Marvel Universe and in the X-Men movies, you're like a very specific kind of character.
In what way?
You're like look at all the mutants. They're very downtrodden. They're very they're outcasts.
Well, I mean, it's an allegory for like racism and all that
right.
stuff. Yeah.
But I don't think Kamala Khan fits that book at all.
Well, but I think modern-wise, that doesn't fit the book for anyone because if you have powers and can fly, no one's making fun of you. I'm becoming your best friend, and we're being TikTok famous. Are you fucking nuts? There's no one. That's the one thing
I hated that the whole TikTok streaming.
Yeah, I know.
Influencer.
Yeah. But
oh, God.
Again, that's the one thing that never lines up.
Annoying.
I hear you. No, I agree.
This is a kids directed thing for sure.
Sure. But no, that doesn't work for. I feel like that storyline's hard to pull off now.
She's the first mutant we've been introduced to. Her. It just doesn't. It doesn't fit with me.
Well, so it just doesn't fit because
is she gonna go to Professor Xavier's School for the Gifted?
Which again, looking back, she would have been an X-Men. If during the time,
the writer actually did say that she
which could be some rewriting of hit back then maybe, but they were
revisionist history in another way.
But also,
yeah, she
back
was
then
supposed
they
to be a
were
mutant.
X-Men was being canned because obviously Marvel didn't own the film right, and they weren't running X-Men comics and stuff for a while, and they really kind of focused on Inhumans to get hype up for that.
I think Kamala Khan is the poster Inhuman.
Yeah,
I
would say Black Bolt, but again, Inhumans aren't even that well known.
I know, but her being a mutant, the first mutant we're introduced to, there's so much implications and
I agree with you.
What are they going to turn her into a mutant now? I feel like she's good on her own. And
I think they muddied the water a lot by making her.
They're going to put her in an X-Men suit now.
No, but I don't think they have. But again, each X-Men has their own suit. So
I know, but we might get suits.
No, absolutely. But
for whatever
the best, just a quick sidebar, the best X-Men suits you will ever see, which were never used again, was at the end of, I think,
X2?
Apocalypse. It's when they're all in their full
X-Men,
get-ups.
the
final
costume
scene.
design in Apocalypse is great.
Well, no, I didn't think. I would say most of it was okay, but up until the end, it's the last shot of them all in the danger room, and they all are literally in their comic book accurate. Yeah,
yes.
it's so good. And they never use them. But
I still like the costumes in that movie.
yeah, they're okay. But my favorite scene in that movie is when you see Apocalypse slowly creating the costumes over their arms when he's talking to him on the. It's the stupidest thing. Anywho,
Oscar Isaac, everybody.
So, Oscar,
But so yeah, true. So what do you think? Are you excited that she is the first mutant in the MCU, or are you kind of like
I'm
where
confused.
I'm
just
confusing.
It
is
because
confusing.
they made her the making her a half djinn thing on top of it makes it confusing. I don't know. Like, does she have her powers?
I didn't think about that.
Is it because does she have the mutation because she's a djinn, or is this happening to everyone because of the snap
or is this just
something?
Coincidence?
That's what I mean.
She has this.
Is her
genetic
does her dad
background,
also have mutations?
Right.
And that's coinciding with her djinn stuff. I don't know. That's just confusing.
Also, there's some CGI scenes in this that are goofy. When one of them, when she's on the roof alone and she's like training and she's hopping around.
It felt very it was rough.
I was like, that was rough. But when she's jumping around, like floating in midair, and like I liked
that stuff a lot.
But like, and I think the jankiness of the CGI made it better.
No,
because she looked like she's.
And by the way,
fluttering around.
Everyone likes to shit on Marvel CGI, and I think it's definitely fair to a degree. But it's not the people who are doing that's fault. Like the CGI artists who work on that don't get enough time. They apparently get paid very shit.
It's a timing thing.
It's a real. If that could look amazing if they have all the time in the world, but people want to push it out, and they have really shitty work conditions in the CGI industry. So it's not their fault. It's the corporate overlord's fault. So I will say that. But
especially for Marvel, they're churning shit out left and right. Like,
which again, though, that CGI
they're
still
never
does
given
look really
the appropriate time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the mutant stuff is confusing.
I just didn't understand. Yeah. What was happening.
I want to save like the end credit scene for definitely last. Like I definitely want to go back and talk a little bit more. I really like the scene with her dad at the end, especially explaining what Kamala means in Muslim. I think Muslim.
I think it was Arabic. Muslim is a language.
Right. Arabic or whatever
Pakistani maybe. Is that a language?
Version of,
please excuse our ignorance.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
We're idiots.
No, he says it's like a specific like
Hindu maybe.
Like Sanskrit is like a certain writing.
Yeah.
Like there's different writings within like Muslim culture.
Yeah.
Like one of those, I think he says, and it means like perfect, which it does. And then he like
there's like another word for it could be
like marvel. And I was like.
No,
really good.
It was
really
good. It was probably one of the best naming scenes I've seen in a while.
And I don't think she names herself yet.
No, she doesn't. I think that was kind of he literally goes, "My little Miss Marvel," and then she's like, "That was." Again, I thought the parents were actually very well. The whole family was well cast.
I really need to read these comics because apparently, like, there's a lot of lines ripped right out of the comics, and like the relationship with like her family and stuff. It's cool, and like there really isn't another Marvel character like that. If anything, a parallel would be like. Is this
the newest character they have put to screen?
I would say yes.
Like because she was only created back in the 2010s,
2012 or 13.
12, yeah.
I remember when she was introduced. I was in a college class, a religion class, and we had to do like current event stuff for that class. And somebody brought to that class one morning that Marvel created like the first Muslim superhero. It was Marvel. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
but that was in like 2013.
Yeah, it's interesting. What do you think of her costume?
Oh, it looks great.
It does. They killed it. They
nailed
looks
fantastic.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I like how it
I like her
awesome.
that her mom makes it too.
I thought that was fun.
Like where would she get
It's
it?
a bit
Her mom just
cliche,
made
but
it.
it's fine.
It's a Spider-Man.
Yeah, it is.
trope.
I like it. I'm fine with that too.
And like she is kind of comparable to Spider-Man in a very different kind of way.
No, yeah, she's street level.
Also,
She's
like,
kind of had a
I was gonna parallel her to Blue Beetle in DC. Like a lot of ethnical ties and like the years are the same. They're both teenagers, but And then with Marvel and Spider-Man, it's just kind of like, oh, they're in the same like area. And I like going back to that first episode. I enjoyed her kind of just being like
a kid,
right? Yeah. And it like kind of just obsessed with the superhero thing, and it kind of makes sense. And they're kind of like the way they show her like her thoughts.
It's really cool. The animations and stuff.
Creative, painterly
There's
way.
definitely some interesting
and just like they
transitions.
did with Hawkeye, they're using some of the comic book art in the credits and stuff and display this like artistic.
Yeah, that one of her sitting on top of the lamp, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that
and
one?
like the one with her, I think her like fist is right here, and she has the like Miss Marvel, like original Carol Danvers Miss Marvel shirt. That's where her symbol
cool.
comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's a bunch of comic book covers like integrated, just like Matt Fraction's art was integrated with Hawkeye in the credits. So I really like that. But they kind of moved away from that as we got later in the episodes. I mean, it made sense, but like even the way like the texts were displayed, I was like, there's some like there like this is the show where this is the character in the
where
show
this flies
where
and really
that
works.
really fits. Yeah.
I have a quick sidebar for you. I feel like there's a lot of discussion online that I see about people saying that comic book artists who they're basically, they are starting to genuinely exactly take comic book panels from comic books and use them in movies. Some people are saying the comic book artist should be compensated more for them using that. What do you think?
Yeah.
Do you agree? Do you think they should get something on top of that as well?
I mean, Matt Fraction and I forget the artist for Miss Marvel, so excuse me on that. Their art's in the end. Yeah.
No,
they should
yeah.
get
So I
money.
mean, it's basically a carbon. No, it's interesting because
Maybe
legally no, they don't have to, but morally, I do think they
should they
morally
should they
I think,
credit them in the credits? Yes.
But I think they'd also rather check, honestly, if you're going to do
I'm
anything.
sure.
Yeah, and I get that. I've seen them I've seen people like even there's that one shot in Thor in Love and Thunder where he's like looking at the big
Straight out of
it's
that
literally
mighty Thor runner.
So
Or is it the Unworthy? What's where the God Butcher run?
I think it's the Unworthy Thor.
Yeah.
That one. But I
that's
don't know.
from that.
I don't know those very well, to be honest. So yeah, I don't know. I again legally, I don't think really there is much these can do. Unfortunately, morally though, I do think the company should give them something. I don't know, a little, but like they might as well have drawn some concept art for you. Throw them some bucks. You make millions of dollars.
So I think in closing, I liked it, but not because it was a Marvel show. And that's
Sure,
a bad thing.
I don't
That's
think
a
it
really bad thing.
I don't think it felt as not Marvel-y to me as it did to you. It just didn't feel like I don't know. It just didn't speak to me in the same way other Marvel stuff did. It felt like a superhero show. It felt like it had all those tropes. It felt like it existed wholeheartedly in the Marvel universe. But it was fun, and that was really it. It didn't blow me away. It didn't make me. I teared up a few times. I will say there was some really solid moments between her and her parents and things like that. So, yeah, I think it is a bit more character driven for sure. But it feels like it exists in the Marvel universe to me. It feels enough superhero-y.
And then the end credit scene, we get
I might not have watched the end credit scene. What is it?
you didn't.
I might have. Is
Captain
it like
Marvel? You didn't.
So that was I was gonna say
I was
earlier.
gonna tell you. I'm like, who did you think was not in this?
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay,
I was like,
so
so,
I'll explain it.
I'm gonna go watch that actually when I get home.
So she's like messing with her bangle in
Yeah.
her room, and like she like it like essentially she switches places with Captain Marvel.
Really?
Yeah. So she like goes into her closet, and I guess that she like is pushed into a closet by whatever's happening, and like Captain Marvel just kind of like periffs into existence. And I think she has the bangle on. I think, and she's just kind of like looking around this room, and like she has like a piece of the door in her hand, and it's a picture of her, and she's like, "What?" Like she's confused. Like so like they
All right, we need
switch
to watch it.
places.
So like you think
somehow.
they Freaky Friday'd them,
No.
or you just think they
It
literally
is
just swapped the
yes.
places?
So
Okay.
that was what we were talking about in the Discord. Did they switch bodies or something, or no? I think they literally switched places because she doesn't like freak out. She's just like, what?
What is happening? Yeah, like where
Right,
am I?
and like
Yeah.
she doesn't look at herself.
Yeah,
so
she's
she
not
doesn't.
like-
So it's not like Miss Kamala with fucking Kamala Harris. No, it's
No, wait, is it Kamala or
this
Kamala?
is Kamala.
This is Kamala, but she is.
Kamala Harris is Kamala. Miss
You
Marvel's
just confused the fuck
Kamala
out. Yeah, so I
Harris.
get what you're
Or-
saying. Yeah,
Oh my
Kamala versus
God. Kamala Khan, Kamala Harris. That's what it is.
boom. We
Yeah.
got it. We got there.
Like killing me. Yeah, so she doesn't look at herself in the mirror, so she doesn't. It's not like she's like looking and be like, I'm somebody else. Like that doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's literally what I was saying before this. Though I was like, I can't
and
believe Captain Marvel didn't show up.
She's wearing like like her typical suit, except she kind of looks like Steve Rogers does in Endgame with his sleeves rolled up a little bit. She has a different haircut. It's like long, but it's like braided on the side. But there's no interaction. That's
Interesting.
what it ends
Okay.
on. And then it says Miss Marvel returned in the Marvels.
Yeah. Which when is that? Next year?
I think so. That is another project that I'm just like, I don't really know what it's supposed to be. So I don't really know how I can be excited for it.
No,
I think that was like same thing with Multiverse of Madness. Before we knew what that was, I'm like, what the fuck is this movie? You know?
For real. No, yeah, you're right. I don't know.
You know, like, what are they doing with the Marvels? Like, these are 3 different characters. Well, Monica Rambeau and Carol are fine, but like, what does Miss Marvel actually have to do with any of this?
Yeah.
And, like, how are they gonna like make that work? And what are they gonna do?
What's the plan here?
Right. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
you know, we don't get the. I would have loved to seen a moment where like she's like sitting on a roof, and I don't know why Carol Danvers will be back on Earth in Jersey City.
Yeah, like why how she would hear about it, maybe.
Right, because that's what happens.
I think the idea of her maybe
comics.
wearing like
That
I
she,
guess
like,
so. She
shows
doesn't
up.
have. See, that kind of does suck that she has no connection. Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel has no connection to that symbol, really, because she's never Miss Marvel in this.
Right.
So like she
that
really
is
that
different. Her
means
lightning bolt is not her
it's
original
not her
symbol.
original
It's
symbol,
always
so
the star that's on
yeah.
that statue in the back.
So, yeah, it's interesting how she would kind of connect that dot.
Right. There are some missing points that we don't have that they did.
And
in the
again, Carol
comics.
did the
But
comics.
it's like,
her
hey, yeah,
stuff is
that was
so-
my original
yeah.
symbol, and you're using it, and that's awesome.
Yeah, it's like, hey, what's going on here? Yeah,
Right,
so-
and that's why she shows up, because I don't think she's space focused, but like I think at that
She's
point
still keeping an eye
they
on
can
it,
write
yeah.
her in.
Yeah,
But with
exactly.
the movie stuff,
No, yeah.
Carol Danvers is really strictly.
She's
been
very
written-
much in the outer space regions.
Yeah, like they've really kind of not written her into a hole, but like or a
Written her
corner.
out of the Earth stuff at least.
Yeah, like she's really has nothing to do with being on Earth. Even in Endgame, she shows up at the end and then fucks off.
Yep. And that's the
Or
other
in
thing. I'm,
Infinity
like,
War and in Endgame.
I'm curious how they know so much about her. Like how anyone really would. Captain Marvel. Like, like she showed up and I feel like she hasn't even been, I don't know.
Well, maybe they don't.
That's getting in the nitty gritty, yeah.
Maybe they don't. Maybe it's just
Interesting.
like, hey, Captain Marvel.
That's cool. It's another superhero, yeah.
Right, she's from Earth, but
Yeah.
she's not on Earth.
All right, guys. Well, I think that about does it here for us for Miss Marvel. You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search Delco Nerd Network. You can find us on all the social media pages. Just search Delco Nerds. We got a website as well as a Facebook page, a Discord. That website is delconerdnetwork.com. You can find all this information there. You can email us delconerds@gmail.com with all your comments, questions, or concerns. We would be happy to get back to you. But for Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy, and we will see you next time.